So that's James's dinner for today. It's heart-shaped baked potato with some avocado to go with it, and sauerkraut and parsnips with pomegranate on top. Quinoa made with tomato, onion, oregano, and did I say eggplant? I'm not sure. Anyway, and then and it's quinoa, not quinoa, and some sweet little organic peppers on top, and then there's spiralized zucchini with fresh chives from the garden. And he's having juice. It's kale, arugula, lemon, and snap peas. And I did it in the wrong order, so mine's kind of green because I'm having a hot lemon and honey, but I did it after his kale. So anyway, and a couple of the snap peas sprouted, so I'll have to plant those. And I'm going to be talking about a bunch of movies because it's been a rain day, and so we've had that going all the time. And James has some dandelions for me to juice for him at some point. He's picked them. Yeah, that's fine. Whew. So I'm going to start with this one because I didn't have room to stick it. Oh no, I made his seat wet. I'll have to flip this over or something. I don't know. I'll just make it so he can sit here. Don't Come Back from the Moon. It's has James Franco in it. I noticed he produced it or something like that. Yeah. I'm glad to see that he saved up his money and he's doing stuff like that. So anyway, the movie itself was not very good, I have to admit. So it was a bit of a disappointment, but honestly, all of these were. So I don't know. I don't think any of these that I'm going to be talking about are really worth watching. Maybe this one. This one was the best of the bunch. But I don't know. Not much to say about that. Town full of absentee fathers. This one, Vice, it was pretty bad. Now there were a lot of facts that maybe people don't know about. I don't know. I think everybody knows about this stuff, don't they? But there were some irrelevant things that were thrown in for no good reason. I mean, just to, like, for example, there was one shot of Hillary Clinton talking about Iraq or something, and it's like she wouldn't have had anything to do with, like, any say in whether they were going at that time. So why even have her in there? It's just obviously somebody who was involved with the making of this didn't like Hillary Clinton, so they threw that in, but they should have edited it out. It should not have been in there. It actually made the movie weaker, and it was a weak movie anyway. What about it? I thought that they had a lot of the facial expressions and stuff like that down, the actors. So even though they may not have looked so much like the actors or whatever, and in the case of some, their voices weren't at all alike, but still, there was some quality actors in this. But yeah, it didn't work as a movie. At the end, like after, you know how they have a little bit of film at the end after the credits or whatever. They had that in this, and it was the focus group fighting about stuff, and it was kind of funny, you know, talking about the orange Cheeto that was elected and whatever, you know, but again, not really necessary. And you know, when you have to work outside the point of the movie, you really know I think they knew that their movie was weak. And anyway, yeah, it's not worth watching. They really, not the best film of the year. No, it was not good. And I wanted it to be The Mule, Clint Eastwood. And, you know, James said it was kind of sad to see Clint Eastwood a little bit hunched over now, you know, because he's getting older. And the movie wasn't worth making. Honestly, I felt bad. But both of us left the room. Usually it's just me. But James, you know, usually he'll fall asleep. It's not that he means to abandon the movie, but yeah, wasn't any good. Now this one, James had already seen. He watched in 1981. I did not. And this was the first I'd ever seen Escape from New York with Kurt Russell. And, you know, it's interesting seeing the hairstyles and stuff, the fashions of the time and whatever. Being reminded that this was a common men's hairstyle that men would want to have. It was very studly to have this kind of hairstyle. And a lot of women sported it also, unfortunately. It's not a really very good hairstyle. It wasn't believable at all, and it wasn't even funny. It wasn't meant to be funny, and it's like different things happen. Like at one point, Kurt Russell's gonna get into this car that I don't know how. It's a getaway car, and somehow I don't even know how they could have gotten away in it where it was. But anyway. So they rush to this car to get away, and the car won't start, and he goes to open up the hood to see if he can fiddle with the engine, because apparently he's not only muscular and studly and, you know, good at shooting people and whatever, but he's a mechanic on the side. And so anyway, he's doing this, and he opens up the hood, and there's a guy hiding in there. And it's like, okay, so they went to the trouble of pulling out the engine and whatever so that a guy could hide in there and say, surprise, you know, you're not getting away, kind of thing. Like, come on. And anyway, yeah, not worth watching. This one, I have decided that M. Night Shyamalan is on my no-fly list. He is terrible. Anyway, now, fortunately for him, he had some talent with this. There was James McAvoy, Bruce Willis, Samuel L. Jackson, and others, actually. What's her name was in this? What was her name? Sarah Paulson. So anyway, I wouldn't watch it. It's, you know, it's kind of nice seeing a superhero sort of thing, and sadly, the ending doesn't turn out quite like you might like, and not like I liked, because I would have liked to see more of some characters. Anyway, now I have to admit, I will probably watch the next one, and there will be a next one, and a next one, and a next one, and it will still let me down, even though I know I'll watch it. Anyway, yeah, anyway. The Isle. This was a sort of ghost story, kind of Celtic, little bit of magic, I guess, involved in the whole ghosty thing. There's some sort of possession thing going on, and mist, lots of mist, and beautiful scenery of an island, and lots of moss and stuff like that, and very pretty. But it says gothic horror, but it was more like a lightweight suspense, and I enjoyed it more than these other movies. So if you're gonna watch one of these, I guess watch this one. And you need something to watch on a rainy weekend, right? Because nobody wants to be out in it. But fortunately for me, the rain let up for a little while, so I'm able to sit outside because I like to. I don't like to be trapped inside. But anyway, so I planted a few beans today and a few gourds, but my bales are all planted off. I don't need to plant anything else in there. But yeah, I'll plant those bees. Anyway, I don't know where James is.